Remember the story about the white cops who beat up a fellow brother in blue who was undercover? Well, here's an update on one of the cops involved. Former St. Louis officer Dustin Boone received a light sentence for beating and permanently injuring a black undercover cop in 2017 at a racial justice protest. He will only serve 1 year and 1 day. That is way less than what the victim, Luther Hall, and prosecutors suggested. Boone's lawyers say he did not participate in the initial beatings. Now, according to court documents, Boone has a history of abusing suspects. Hall received a $5 million settlement from the police department as a result of this beating. Matt, this is, I mean, here again, people want to see black cop, white cop. When it comes to the cop, operative words there are black and white.
That's exactly right. And, you know, frankly, I don't understand how this isn't a scenario where the officer gets heavier punishment. What's never made sense to me is if we imbue officers with all the ability to go out and enforce the law, then when they commit acts that are violative of the law, it stands to reason they should be held to an even higher standard. So to get a year in jail for brutally beating an undercover cop at a protest is just absurd. It's inexcusable, and there's no way to defend it beyond exactly what you said, Roland. White cop, black cop being the victim. Outside of that, it doesn't make any sense, and it's not anything you can, really defend in any way.
I have always maintained, Lee, that there should be a higher standard for cops. And again, but this system, what it does, it always treats them with kid gloves, and no, we don't want to hurt their feelings when we see the sort of heinous actions they are involved in.
Yeah, man, and other law enforcement officers ought to stand with you in that sentiment, because the bad apples give the good apples a bad name, right? We lump them so often, they get lumped in the same bunch. And so, I would just encourage law enforcement officers, particularly those who look the same way that all three of us do, would stand up and say, look, it's time to go hard. Throw the book at these folk who abuse the law, who are charged with enforcing the law and protecting people when they abuse the law, when they break the law. Like, yeah, we need to look at these laws and statutes around the country and make the penalty even higher to prove a point. I'll say this, as elected officials, when various prosecutors go after elected officials that that may have done what they've been accused of, they like to throw the book at them, right? Because they want to set an example, especially for black elected officials. They want to set an example that others can see and will not do the same thing. I think they should do the same thing.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Once upon a time, there lived a princess with really long hair who was waiting for a prince to come save her. But really, who has time for that?
Let's go. Feeling myself. I'm feeling
She ordered herself a ladder with Prime one-day delivery, and she was out of there.
I want some hood girls looking back at it, and a good girl in my tax bracket.
Now, her hairdressing empire is killing it. And the prince? Well, who cares? Prime changes everything.
But I'm back at it, and I'm feeling
This weekend for the Bayou Classic, broadcasting live in partnership with Coca-Cola Friday and Saturday. You do not want to miss it. So Black Star Network will be on the scene. That's right, covering the Coaches Luncheon on Friday. We'll be broadcasting Friday night. Then, of course, we'll be broadcasting from the Fan Zone. There's a parade Saturday morning, broadcasting that. Plus from the Fan Zone, in addition, We'll be broadcasting the halftime. That's right, y'all. Don't worry about the rest of these folk. Don't worry about it. NBC doesn't show it. We'll be showing you the halftime show right here on the Black Star Network.